Good morning. For those of you watching the replay, I appreciate it. It's no notifications. You gotta love it. If you're in here, make yourself seen. What's up, everybody? Remove that. It's Wednesday. Maybe the title. Maybe YouTube doesn't like the title. I wonder if I can edit that. Can you edit? Yeah, I can edit the title. Here, let's do this. There we go. Of course, it helps if I know how to spell. Typing's hard, people. Right. Now we're getting some people in here. Oh, maybe YouTube analytics don't like hurricane stuff, so we'll just put that. Save changes. There we go. All righty. So we've edited the video. Let's go to YouTube and turn something on here. It's Wednesday. Beautiful weather today here in the Ozarks, and then it's going to get cold after Thursday, I believe. And I don't know. I've had some different results as far as rates go. So we'll get to that here in a minute. There's a lot of things going on. Of course, everybody's got their mind on the elections. If you guys haven't checked it out, I did a video on the small channel that talked about, going to vote and all that. And apparently my browser wants to screw up now too. Oh, man, I am not together this morning. I imagine YouTube's kind of on overload because of the election stuff. Everybody wants to get part of that algorithm. So it's probably glitchy anyways. No guitar solo this morning. No. That my family probably wouldn't appreciate it this early in the morning. So that's usually reserved for the weekend lives. It's funny. We were cutting it up on Sterling's live feed last night, and I was in and out there because I had things to do, and that wasn't the greatest background music in my world. But it was charming. It was cute, and it was fun. But the entertainment was the comments. That was the entertainment, and it was fun. It was fun. I actually am pretty open minded musically, but that was interesting that you started talking about what's your favorite Iron Maiden tune, and a lot of people struggle with that, but I know that answer right off the bat. So now when it comes to albums, that's a little bit different question. That's a little bit difficult to answer. You have to do a top 5, but the album of all albums, I can't do that. So, all right, finally getting the low boards up here, and this flickering that I mean, I don't know if you guys. Well, let me take my glass off. You can probably see the flickering on my glasses. It's weird. It doesn't flicker on the. I've got the play out right in front of me. Like I've got it right in front of me, but I don't know. Anywho, I know I'm boring. I know I'm not exciting. Let's see. Let's go to. Let's bring up the DAT here. What I'm seeing is there's some pretty decent volumes in some places, but they're still driving rates down. And apparently the algorithm said to lower the price again because I've had more than one person tell me that they they got hammered yesterday. Now I've got the reefer guy booked until Saturday, and we'll book his next load today. Um, that's kind of how you have to roll right now. So we've got that done. All right. So I wish that menu would just stay like that. Okay. All right. So we'll do some shout outs. Now we're getting some people in here. I appreciate you guys. We've turned on subscribers only mode for chat. And I still have not decided if I'm going to put that 3-hour live feed from Saturday back up. If I do, it'd probably be for members only first. Or I'll put it on the small channel. Small channel needs some views. So those of you who missed the live feed Saturday night, there is a hope that you might be able to see it. Not that I would watch 3 hours of me, but hey, whatever floats your boat. And we got our coffee. Of course, I'm doing the like trucking material thing. I've got the cup. I've got the hat. We are hiring. We have 2 empty trailers on the ready for any new contractor that wants to come on. Liketrucking.com. You can put the app in. And so there's that. And then, of course, 123 low board 48065. When we get to that, that'll be the code that you want to save yourself some money and try it out. You can try it out, not like it. That's fine. Use my code. You get to do that for 30 days. So, with that being said, let's do some shout outs and we'll see what's going on. Rick, what's up? Good morning. Jordan, good morning. How are you? Texas. Yes. Don Shonger, hello. Twitch, what's up, man? Been a minute. Desert Okie Pam, how's it going? Old school, new school. It's windy in New Mexico. Yeah. We'll talk about the weather stuff here in a second. I wonder if I can get that up here. I wonder if there's any copyright infringements on that if I do that. Wheel burner, good morning, sir. Max Force. Hello. No guitar solo this morning. Yep. That's it. Morning Snorelord in chat. Jason, what's up? Man, I like that cab over. Did Rick Rubin inspire the beard, or was it ZZ Top? Rick, I don't know. My dad had a beard, and at one point I was like, let's see how long we can make this. And then my wife's like, hey, I like this. And if you go to my community page on the small channel, which I could do that real quick. Let's do that. I'll show you some scary stuff. It's going to make you go, ugh. Snorelord. Snorelord OG. Keep thinking I'm going to change the title of that channel, but I don't. All right. This is the Snorelord without the beard. There you go. Look at that dude. That dude is crazy. And I'll read it to you since, some of you might be doing something you shouldn't. But people keep asking me how long I've been growing the beard. Well, this picture is from a video I did 5 years ago. This is from my Schneider new rules when they implemented the collision mitigation that you had to have on your truck. I was grandfathered in on my first truck there. I was clean shaven, almost 400 pounds. These days, I'm 100 pounds lighter and a beard that makes ZZ Top material. So it's interesting that you bring up ZZ Top. I still have a lot more weight to lose, and I'm constantly trying to improve myself. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow. And then here's a before, and here's an after. My wife prefers that dude. And look, I'm number 1. So that's so yeah, go to the Snorelord OG channel. And then I also did the 40-day carnivore challenge on this channel. And you can see the difference in my face. And of course, but yeah, I was so glad to see that they let us small time YouTubers have a community page. But I can't break 500 on this channel. I just can't. I don't. I mean, I granted I don't put a whole lot of effort on this, but yeah, there's your there's the old guy. And what's amazing is I look at old pictures like this of myself, and you just don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. You know, they call it what, letting one go. Because I used to be an avid BMXer. I used to be a bike rider. I used to be fit. You know, and then my insulin said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna spike. And we're gonna ruin your life because of the stuff you're eating." And there it was. That guy was not happy. That guy was not healthy. That guy was super stressed. That guy was clean shaven. Now, the reason why I was clean shaven was because I had an issue with my first CPAP machine that stopped recording. So when I went to go get the card read at the DOT physical, they were like, "Yeah, there's no data on here, dude." And so they gave me a 30-day card, I think 30 or 45-day card. Yeah, 45-day, and said, "You need to show compliance on this." So I went and got a new machine, and then so I didn't want to take any chances of things not working, so I clean shaven. I do have a way I put the mask on my face that the beard doesn't affect, and I get a good seal, so we're good. But yeah, I mean that's why it's shaved at that point, and yeah, so it's crazy. And then after change in diet and a little bit of exercise, this is what you got. So, but now there's beard's even longer. This is like a year ago, I think. Yeah, this is when we were out Christmas shopping last year. We were at Hobby Lobby, and I was with my youngest, and I said, "Hey, take a picture." Then I grabbed that number one. It's a joke. I don't feel like I'm number one, but anyways. SST, what's up? Big Houston. Oh, Rick, speaking of Rick Rubin, he's also lost a lot of weight and changed his diet. I believe he went to a keto or primarily carnivore diet. I mean, look, the stuff works, man. Stop eating crap, and you'll feel better. Trust me. Big Houston, what's up? This Trucking Life, good morning. Sean Fairman, grocery rates way up over here. Yep. If I go to Walmart for supplies, I'm finding myself paying about 20% higher. You don't even realize it until comes time to swipe that card. Make your son grow one too. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Don't teach the kids shave. Oh, too late. Jose, what's up? Jacob E. Lane, shaving sucks too. It does. I hate shaving. Now I will trim the mustache because I don't like having it past my lips. And I did clean up the sides a little bit, but I'm not like a manscaper. I think that's what they call it. Or is that for the lower region? I don't know. Either way, TMI, right? Um, and my wife likes the mountain man look, and I actually kind of like it. I mean, my hair is long, but it stopped growing a while back, and so it's nice having the beard. So now, if I was running machinery or something like that, that might be a different story. If I was still a welder, but the drummer of Obituary, the death metal band Obituary, he has a thing that clasps down. It's like a leather strap, and I can't seem to find one. There's like metal beads that you can put in, but I don't want to be decorative. I just want to be practical because sometimes it sucks having all this down here. So now that we talked about facial hair, let's get to the real stuff, trucking. So now, so I'm going to point out, and that's where the original title of this video came in, but now we had to change it so the analytics would be kind of favorable. So we have a hurricane approaching Florida on the east side, and that whole thing is going to track right up to right up Florida, right up through the southeast. Let's see if we can find something here. So let me undo the screen here. I don't know if it's going to do it or not. Let's see if we can get directions here. If we do directions, let's do our location. New York. New York. New York. All right. Because I'm in New York, people, right? Let's see. Oh, it's not. There it is. Okay. No, it's not doing the. I know on Google Maps on the phone, it would show the track of the hurricane. So let's do this here. Obviously, Google's Maps is not going to cooperate. So, all right. Let's do images. All right. Here we go. That's what we want. All right. So let me share the screen again. I am totally amateur today, and I apologize, but you'll get over it. You guys are strong, strong people, right? You're not easily flustered, are you? All right. Here's your hurricane track. So by tomorrow at 1 a.m., boom, it's going to hit the coast. Now, why is this important to you? Number one, if you live in Florida, this kind of sucks, right? But number two, it affects rates. It affects freight. It affects the dynamics of the freight. Okay. So as you can see, it tracks now. It kind of misses Jacksonville. It's kind of like woo loop, and it's going to hit the area that's already been hit. Now that this is not a big hurricane, it's actually tropical storm level at this point, but still. So it's going to track through the southeast. Now, what's interesting is that uh, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was struggling to get a reefer out of the southeast. They were trying to, they were trying to push van loads because he thought, well, I'll just pick a van load for $1.30 a mile out of there. Like he had people hanging up on him because they wouldn't budge off $1.30. So now here's the thing: if a broker's paying attention and they see this weather, they're going to up the rate. So if you're sitting there kind of oblivious to the hurricane and you're like, hey, I wonder why they're paying $4 a mile to go into Miami, Florida. Well, here's why. So you got to really pay attention to the weather. Now, the other thing that's going on, let's see if I can do this here. YouTube notifications. Do 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 do. Let's go to images. I don't think any of that's current. Yeah, let's show this here. Continue. Don't allow. Wow, this is all spammed out. Holy crap. Anyways, there's a blizzard that's occurring up in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota area. No, I'm good. Thank you. I wonder if I can do this. Weather nation. Bunch of. Okay, so obviously I need to work on this weather aspect because that was just a bunch of images of one of the weather girls. All right, so anyways, there's blizzards going on up there, and then you got a lot of snow in the Pacific Northwest. So we're in it now. We're in this time of year. You know, daylight savings time has occurred, and you know, so it's getting darker early, and so yeah, it's gonna get real. Let's see. Smooth trucking and safety meeting session. I don't know about that. Diesel bro, you should braid the beard like a biker. My wife does braid it at times. I don't know how to braid it myself. A lot of times I'll tie it. Takes like 4 or 5 hair ties. That's kind of a pain in the butt though. David, good morning to you, sir. Stuart, what's up? They left that 4.1 billion Artemis rocket on the launch pad for the approaching storm. Huh. Ponzi, lunar power, large cars in the sheet. What's up, man? Yeah, lunar power. Yep. They couldn't get it launched anyways, right? Edgewood, what's up? James Shee, good morning. So, anyways, let's go over some low board stuff. Let's go over load availability. And then we'll take a look at some DAT ratios too. Because you want several tools at your disposal to deal with what we're dealing with. All right, there's your hot market map. John, if you're watching, this one's for you. What's it looking like out of Houston for tomorrow flatbed? Well, let's take a look here. So let's go with load. Find loads. Click on find loads. You should be doing good out of Houston. Houston's kind of hot right now because of the ports. Oh yeah, going anywhere. All right, so for what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's the 10th, correct? So let's do the 10th. Apply. And you want flatbed and step deck, or are you just flatbed? We'll do both here. You got 125 loads within a 150-mile radius. See everything. I mean, you got a lot of loads. I mean, look at it's all Houston, all of it. There's Pearland, Baytown, LaPorte, Baytown, New Caney. So it's looking pretty good. So let's pick the highest rate, shall we? We don't even have to go that far. There's $3,000 going to Broomfield, Colorado. So it just depends on what direction you want to go. They just updated, so you can filter it through age. That's so I mean, you can pretty much go in any direction. They're all going Texas, Louisiana, Colorado, Texas, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona. Nothing really going east. Conestoga. Yeah, that's right. I don't think there is a Conestoga only option. Let me look here. Da, 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 da. No, no, so we'll take out step deck, see what those numbers look like. Search. Still 125. So taking out step deck didn't make a difference. And as you can see, Freight Lane Solutions has got a ton of these postings. Sherway, BMAC, Fifth Wheel Freight, Sakota. I've never seen them before. So a lot of Texas to Texas stuff. Here's one, Cleveland to Bismarck, North Dakota. Now remember, there's a blizzard going on up there. So let's see what this is. 1,489 miles coming out of Cleveland, Texas. Picks up tomorrow at 9 a.m., delivers Monday in Bismarck. So you can you can look at that. It's a load of pipe, 47,000 pounds. They did not post a rate, which is good. So if you go by the average rate, that's where this tool will go on the rate check and all that. You can see that there's a slight uptick in the rates. It's actually going up a little bit. And then here's all your reloads. There's nothing going right back to Cleveland or Texas, but there is 2 loads going anywhere. So what you can do is you can click on this one and see where it's going back. So if you want to zigzag and bounce around, then you would take that one out of Hebron, which is only 60 miles away, and see if you want to go up to Minnesota. And that picks up on the 15th. So there's going to be a gap there if you decide to go this route. But that's the beauty of these backhauls, the backhaul option is you can see, so like let's take that into account, okay? If you want to do this Cleveland, Texas to Bismarck, you would click how many reloads are out of there. Okay, not much, right? So on the backhaul, and then you would look at the average rate. What's the average rate on this? If you click on this one, they don't even have. Oh, there it is, $1.94 a mile. So it's lower than going in there. Obviously, that's how it's going to be. So while you should probably be getting more than $1.94, that should tell you that the decrease in rates that it's going to have coming out of North Dakota, and obviously there's not many loads coming out. So you would want to approach that with caution. Now, Sandman, if you're watching, here you go. Flatbed loads going to Bismarck. But I noticed that when he goes out, he has to stay out because it's tough getting out of there. So let's look at this Montgomery, Illinois. That's the one I would do or look at first. Picks up in Port Arthur, which is 86 miles away, going to Montgomery, Illinois. They're already above the average, but I would negotiate more. And then let's look at the back hauls out of Montgomery. Montgomery anywhere, 76 loads. So now you're not going to make as much from going to Illinois with that North Dakota, but number one, you stay out of the blizzard. And number two, there's a better chance of getting something, out of Montgomery, Illinois than there is Bismarck, North Dakota. So that's kind of how you have to look at that. What do you mean, kind of, Steve? That is how you need to look at that. So just keep that in mind. That's what's great about these tools. If you notice, all the click and go apps, they usually have reload options, and brokers love it when you do 2 or 3 loads in a row for them. So if you got a good relationship with the broker that's got a lot of freight, then you could sit there and say, hey, like I did that yesterday. There was a load going out somewhere that I vowed never to go to, but it looked like a good option, and it looked like I can get a good rate for it. So I looked at the load ratio map and saw that California was struggling a little bit, and so I called my guy and I said, "Hey, man, I'm willing to do the slow, but you have to have a reload that we have to book at the same time for this because there's enough volume that I could find something if that second load canceled." So I wasn't worried about that, but and he kept saying over and over, "Man, it's been brutal there. It's been oh man, yeah." He didn't want to tell me not to do it, but he pretty much was. He was like, "Look, man, it's brutal out of California. I got two carriers beat me up because I'm having trouble getting them out of there for a decent rate." And so I looked at the load ratios, and sure enough, they're like, "Hey, man, don't come out here." So that's kind of that you have to be aware and look ahead. And if you can get a broker that can get you your next reload and your next reload and your next reload and keeps you busy to where you're not making 80 phone calls, that's a great thing to have. And so you want to partner with someone that's got the freight. These small time mom and pop brokers with direct shippers, that's great, but you definitely have to have other relationships to help you get out of where you're at. Oh, I was going to quit letting the cat in. All right. Mrs. Nevada, what's up? Nevada says in Laredo, Texas van they're offering $1.75 to Wisconsin. Nah, you know why? Because Wisconsin's hot, so they think you're going to get it coming out of Wisconsin. But Houston's the area that you want to be in. I'm not sure what the rates look like out of there. TBT morning from I-40 eastbound to New Mexico. New Mexico on I-40. Old school, new schools out there, man. You guys are all hanging out in New Mexico. Sage, what's up? If you have time, stop at Russell's at the Texas line. Go to the car museum. The food is not bad. Yes, I agree 100%. Every single time I go through New Mexico, that's where I stop. Russell's is awesome. I've bought a few knickknack things for the wife. She likes Native American stuff, and I've bought a few of that stuff from there. Car museum's awesome. I'm sure there's a social network posting somewhere of the last time I was out there. I definitely like Russell's. Russell's is what truck stops should be. You people that have only been driving for 4 or 5 years, you have no idea of what it was like with the old school truck stops. Was there still crap holes back then? Yeah, but you know what? There were people that took pride in their work, took pride in the food that they made for you, and and it was just a different climate. It just was. Everybody saying hi. I'll be unloading in Houston, New Mexico is my turf. I don't know what New Mexico's like in the flatbed world, so I tend to avoid that. But see, let's go back to load availability. All right, so let's look at density map. So let's look at flatbed, right? Let's look at flatbed. Doink. So if you want to run long, look at the California market. If you want to run short, look at the Georgia market. But again, we've got a tropical storm happening down here. So that could affect situations. It could definitely change dynamics. Obviously, you want to avoid this area. And this is the area that has all the really bad snow weather right now. This area and this area. So, like California's got On the 123, it's got 215 outbound, 340 inbound, and 106 intrastate. See where those are going. Arizona, Colorado, Arizona, Utah, Arizona. A lot of stuff going to Arizona and Colorado. And those are usually the best paying loads. Here's Freight Lane Solutions trying to move a load from Anderson to Paducah, Kentucky, so you can go hang out with Coach, and $1.43 a mile. See what the average is on that. $1.47. So not much fluctuation on that. And look, it's a downward decline. And guys, let me see if I can bring this website up here. I'm going to show you guys something that, if you're a flatbedder, I feel kind of sorry for you. Okay. I want you, this should kind of tell the tale of why you guys are fighting on your rates here. Okay. Now, the rates, you just pay attention to the trends. Don't worry about that number particularly. There's your average price for fuel. And it says it's gone down, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. But I will show this. So flatbed spot rates are down 0.4% this week. They are down 1.3% by the month, and they are down 6.7 for the year. But here's the real tale. Okay. Flatbed load the truck down 9.2% for the week, down 6.8% for the month, and down 74% for the year from October of last year. Let that soak in. If you're in an area last year, let's say you're in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're in an area, there was 100 loads, and you're in that same spot now, there's only 15 loads left. Or is that right? Is that 85, 90? There's 25 loads left. Math is hard. That's why I have calculators. 25 loads, right? So now part of that is because a lot of people switched to flatbed when they saw that van was dropping. And there's nothing wrong with pivoting. It could be very lucrative if you can finagle things just right. But what happened is and I pay attention on this flatbed Facebook page. There's a lot of bad securement going on, and now their market is quite a bit oversaturated, because part of it's because there is volume loss, but also because there are more trucks now hauling flatbed, which is essentially what happened to our entire spot market. The truck prices did not affect the rate of trucks coming in. Maybe slightly, but not but not enough to keep people out. And at one point, flatbed trailers were the only thing you can find. You want a new van, you got to pay 80 grand for it. But hey, we've got 6 flatbeds on the lot. You want one of those for 30? That's essentially what happened. And this is indicative of that situation happening. Now, van load to truck ratio is down 47.7% for the year. October to October. And just in the last month, it's decreased 17%, which is why you keep seeing them lower the rates every 2 weeks. And then spot rates in general are down 51%, and spot truck posts are up 19%. That means more people are like, "Hey man, I have a truck, where are you at?" I could care less about the average numbers as far as like rates, okay? That's, Jeff already did that argument and he made some valid points, okay? These are the numbers you have to pay attention to. So, if you have a friend that goes, "Hey man, I want to become an owner operator and I want to work the spot market," show them these numbers first, make sure they got a business plan laid out to deal with this. And that's what most people aren't doing. They're not doing a business plan, right? So we click on, we can get detailed here. So let's do national van demand and capacity. So click on that. Now notice there's some similarities. To the other hot market maps, but the lighter the color, the worse it is. Idaho has a good load to truck ratio, right? Now these are loads posted on the DAT board, okay? 123 loads are posted on the 123 load board. Those hot market maps, they're all within themselves, right? $20.22 is the yellow line. Look how high it was, and then look how much it dropped. And we were below 2020 levels. That should be another marker that you should be paying attention to. And the fact that we're still getting above $2 average should be good. I've been above national averages on all my trucks. So there's money to be made. There's negotiating that has to be done. And this time last year, 2021, man, it was going up because it was the other side of that, right? So these are the things that you should be paying attention to. Or at least want to pay attention to. Okay. Not much different than this map here, right? So let's look at van. Now, I'm going to explain something, and I'm not going to bash Landstar because I know people are very well there. So when I was at Landstar during, there was a recession back in 2014 or 2015, I should say. Landstar was kind of insulated from what the spot was doing to a certain degree. I was paying attention to the DAP board. I was paying attention to my spot market friends, and they said, they're all freaking out. Rates are going lower. Meanwhile, Landstar rates were still pretty strong. But January 1st, first week of January, someone flipped that switch, and now they were affected as well. So, and if you look at one of the graphs that FreightWaves showed yesterday on contract freight rates are going down. And I had several Schneider guys tell me that their fuel discount is now only 8 cents. Unless they're in the western states, then I think it's 18. 8 cents. So somebody's pinching somewhere, right? So contract freight's not immune to this. The spot market is used to manipulate those rates. When spot is high, the carriers come in and say, we'll cover this for lower. But when the spot becomes lower than contract rates, then the shippers are like, we need to save money, so we're going to have Joe Schmo over here with Robinson do our loads because they can get it done for $1.80 a mile. And you're charging us $2.25. That's how this system works. It's that simple, but it's not. I mean, there's some complexities. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to my perception, that seems to how it's worked in the past and how it's working now. And I've worked both sides. I've done Landstar, where you work both sides. You have both contract and spot freight on Landstar, but then you also have the Schneider, which I was running, contract for that, and then the spot. And I noticed that the brokers that have the contract rates, the actual contracts, like this is the only broker doing these loads, those seem to be where I get my best rates. Correlation there, right? OSNS, I just received a weather update. Gust of wind 50-55 across New Mexico, affecting I-25 from 11 to 7. Thank you for that information. Jeremy Rice saying good morning. Northwest reefer looks hot right now compared to a few months ago. Yeah, look, best money right now in reefer is LTL. If you can get a multiple stop reefer load, you're good to go. That's where the bread and butter is right now. Because look, as people are ordering less stuff, stores don't need as much. So now they're trying to throw a bunch of loads on one truck. And so now you got the multiple stops. They're willing to pay that little bit extra for the mile so they don't have to pay for an extra truck. So multiple stop loads in the reefer world are banging right now. The trick is coordinating that between the shippers and the multiple receivers, especially if they're grocery warehouses. So you can sit there and be on, you can do a $2,000 load that's like $4 something a mile, but it might take you 3 days to get it done. Well, is that $2,000 that good then? 4 days. That's the problem with some multiple stops is that there's too much time on them because they have to be because each stop's going to take 4 6 hours to unload for 4 pallets. I was once at a Cisco for 6 hours for 4 pallets. And I was on time. That was in Houston, I believe. So yeah, we don't go to Cisco in Houston. If I call on a load, hey, I look, you got this load going to Houston. What's the details on that? And they say, well, yeah, it's your warehouse. I'm like, okay, who's the receiving customer? Oh, it's Cisco. All right, thank you. Have a nice day. Appreciate your time. They're like, whoa, wait. Well, you're not even discuss rate. I'm like, no, I don't go in there. Have a good day. So, and I would hate to be a broker that has to cover that. I would hate to be a broker that has to cover a bad shipper or a bad receiver. I found out when I was at Landstar, you really need a bitch like a temp control hazmat or oversight. Exactly. That's how it's done at Landstar. You're not even using the load board for the most part. Niche. Okay. I thought you were cursing at me or talking about a female dog. I wing it. I wet my finger and stick it up in the air. I thought you were going to say something else. And see which way the wind is blowing. Or I listen to Snorelord. No, don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was at a Kroger warehouse in Ohio once for 18 hours. Yeah, look, I don't want this to turn into an echo chamber of how, because there are good grocery warehouses. I was at a Kroger in Wichita area that in and out in an hour. I was like, wow. when I needed the 2-hour break for sleeper split that I had done. So I just kind of hung out for a minute. What's up, Jackknife? Saw a post you were still at home, or you were at home for a couple of weeks, truck down, something like that. I know you did a live the other day, and it was a long, lengthy one. You're saying a lot of good stuff. Jackknife. All right, let's see who's this. Good morning. FedEx packages will be on time. You're welcome. Thank you, Sterling. But it's important that not only do they arrive on time, but they arrive safely. I'll take a day late if the driver didn't have to put in the median. Right? So the gist is this. And I'm going to keep hammering this. All the YouTubers are going to keep hammering this. You're running a business. And guess what? It's not all unicorns and roses. And it's important to recognize the fact that if this is your first downturn, this is going to make or break you. This is going to make you stronger regardless of the results. It's going to cause you to look at things. It's going to create a need for you to look at things outside of the box. What can I do different? What can I do better? Where do I need to trim the fat? Where do I need to increase, this, that, or the other? How can I be more efficient? You know, can I handle on 600 miles a day instead of 500 miles a day? Am I willing to go up to North Dakota during a blizzard to get that extra load, to get that extra rate per mile? Or am I willing to take lower rates in the Southeast, which I think that's part of the reason why they're driving rates not lower in the Southeast, because they know people are starting to avoid the North now. So what happens? That adds capacity to the Southeast. In the trucking industry, we also call them snowbirds. CDN, good morning. Yes, you are late. Yeah, I'm still at home, just enjoying time with the family. It was close enough to elections that I wanted to be home. Good deal. Although I can see my vote didn't help that much, especially here in Pennsylvania. Yeah, we won't get into that, but definitely there's some stuff going on. Thanks, Sterling. I appreciate the confidence in our abilities running FedEx right now. FedEx was a good moneymaker for me at Landstar, by the way. What? I was promised unicorns and roses both. Where do I file my complaint? Well, there's a circular trash can nearby, possibly somewhere wherever you're at, and that's your suggestion box right there. So, anyways, we're getting close to an hour, and I I I don't know what else to say. I mean, there's van, hot market. Let's do reefer. Reefer's a little bit better. And again, a lot of processed and frozen food is occurring right now. And you just got to keep on keeping on. I mean, this is part of this game. This is what you signed up for. When you signed the dotted line to that lease or that purchase, um, you took a lot of responsibility, and this is part of it. So, on Facebook, there was a guy that he had grossed like 6,500 for the week, and after all the deductions and fuel and the carrier's cut and everything else, he was left with $667 for the week. That gross number looks awesome, but it's the net number that you have to pay attention to. Would you do all this work for $665 a week? You can always throw in the ballot box. Yeah. No, that'll be gross. I'm considering relocating due to the election. Oh man, I guess it didn't go your way, huh? Well, Missouri's a beautiful place. The Hoppa days are upon us. Are you ready? What's the eggnog? Where's the eggnog? Right? Come on with it. How's Flatbed? I'm going to come out of Pennsylvania today. I'm sure I'll be making a killing. LOL. Let's look at PA. So let's do Flatbed. You got man, you flatbedders. I swear. All right, let's take a look. It's green, so that's good news. Ambridge, New Salem, Bristol, Peach Bottom. That's a neat name, Peach Bottom. Philadelphia, Philly, 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 Philly. What area do you live at, Jack? If you don't want to disclose, I understand. People that get on YouTube are creepers, so we don't want that going on. Philly, Philly, New Salem. Here you go. Well, Missouri's kind of so you can grab this New Salem to St. Louis, and then grab. Let's look at the reloads out of St. Louis. Ooh, look at that. A little bit slightly inclined there. Uh, there's 150 loads coming out of St. Louis, so that's where I would go. Let's see. Nothing going out west. If you're a coast to coast kind of guy, West Virginia, Massachusetts, Clark, Missouri. I don't even know where that is. Delaware, West Virginia. Nothing going west. Allentown. All right, so let's do a load search here. Let's see, where were we? Sorry, I was distracted here. Find loads. So we still got it in flatbed from Old Edgewood. So Allentown. Allentown Pa. Going anywhere for today? Right? We'll do today and tomorrow. How's that? We'll throw that in there. Sort. 217 loads within 150-mile radius. Highest rate is dun, 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 2000 going to right into the blizzard. South Dakota. Dakota Logistics. I'm not familiar with them. Equipment options. Special information. 48,000-pound lumber. No tarp required. Quick pay available. 24-hour advance. Loading appointment. TWIC required. Interesting. But look at, there's like literally 5 loads coming out of South Dakota going anywhere. So I don't think I would do that. I mean, whatever floats your boat, though. I don't tell people what they should or shouldn't do. Here's one in Minneapolis, also another blizzard area. That one's going to have better volumes coming out. I'm ignoring this rate because it's dumb. Yeah, there's 21 loads coming out of Minneapolis going anywhere, so a little bit better, but not much. So let's look at one of these Clark, Missouris. According to the map, Missouri, it's kind of like north of Kansas City. It looks like Blue Whale Enterprise. Let's see. I can't even pronounce the name of the contact there. Tarps Quick. Oh, look at that. Look, man, holy moly. Pennsylvania took a dump. All right. But look at the load ratio coming out. There's 11 loads. Wow, not much coming out there either. Well, Missouri was yellow on the hot market map, so there's that. A bunch of Clark, Missouris. And they're from different brokers, so that means that there's probably a 3PL going on in there. Straight line, Sullivan, Illinois, Tennessee, Connecticut. So here we go, Marion, Ohio. Brooklyn. You want to go to Brooklyn? Brooklyn. I know that was a crappy attempt at the Brooklyn accent. Look at that spike. Holy crap. Yeah, it's on upward trend, so that's good. Marion, Ohio, there's 212 loads. So that Marion, Ohio is your best bet, but then you got to deal with Brooklyn. So, but that might enable you to go, hey man, that's a pain in the butt. So give me more money. Because not everybody wants to go to Brooklyn. And how do we make money? By doing the things no one else wants to do. So there you go. Let's see. Yeah, you guys have been commenting. Truck diver says, ouch. I wouldn't start my truck for $665 a week. But people are doing it. And that's what they want. They want people that are willing to do that. So if you're grossing 6,500, and we're going back to the Facebook post that I was talking about, those of you who just came in, who's making money? Not you, right? Not the person that's making all those payments. And you should have seen this. I should have saved it, but you should have seen all the expenses. I once talked to a driver who grossed $8,500 and he brought home $600. Like, dude, what are you doing here? He's no longer at that company, obviously, but Oh, you gotta love the mute mic. The net is the only thing that matters. The rest is simply pass through, and that's exactly what's going on, right? You're just money transfer. Michigan really and that's okay. My state, and I can't even read that. So I guess Michigan didn't pick well. I guess. Um, damn, we're steering hole. Let's make more than that. Shame on the mess, right? Holidays. These buttons are too close together. Yeah. I mean, look. When 60% goes in fuel, you have to count your penny. Yes, and that's the kick. Look, that's the kicker right now is volumes and fuel. You're in St. Louis. That's a good spot to be in, Mr. Houston. Fuller should be red, not yellow. Most of the loads go up to New England. You could sit up there and die with the 20,000 other guys, or pull out of there for 2 cents a mile. Come on, unless you can drive with your knees, I'd say everyone holds the wheel. People try. Jose, that's why it's important that you're running a fuel efficient truck. It might be the only way to make up for lower rate because you know you're going to get 9 miles per gallon instead of 6. I agree with that. My truck isn't perfect. I think I get about 7 on a good day with my IFTA. When I started driving, 25 cents per mile was good for company, so I'm happy with anything above that. Not really, but kind of. In other words, you live modestly, right? I've seen your super chat, so maybe you don't live too modestly, but you seem to have figured something out. 8,500 gross, 600 net. If that doesn't wake up, what will? 2 plus 2 still equals 4. Exactly, Sean. And dude, people sign up for that every single day, even in this climate. And they want that. They want to take advantage of the people that are willing to do that. Because everybody else is getting rich off of your back. And you're taking all the risk. That's just part of the game. I've always said, well, if you don't want to play the game, then don't play it. But there are different levels of how to play the game. I once had a discussion with somebody that went online and blamed all of us YouTubers for his failure. Guy had a Snyder Finance truck, took it in the spot market, went to a company that had those kind of deductions. Me and several others told him not to do it. I said it flat out on YouTube several years ago, don't make that move. But he did it anyways. And then he called me privately and said, hey, man, I think I'm screwed. Like, yeah, I know. I told you. And because there were people at that particular company that were only giving him the gross numbers at 100%, mind you, not the 85 that they were getting paid. He lasted 30 days with that Snyder Finance truck in the spot market with that company. And then turn around and blame YouTubers that it was our fault for not giving them the real numbers. Well, the net is to you, right? But common sense business practice is to look at the net. You could sit there. Look, I once looked at a bar that I was thinking about possibly getting a partnership with. Oh man, we gross, X amount. It was like, I think it was like close to 1.2 million a year. But I'm like, what's your net? He goes, oh, good question. And he had those numbers too. But that's not how he tried to sell it. He didn't try to sell, oh, dude, we make $1 million a year, man. Come on aboard. No, what's your net? What's your take home after all the expenses and payroll and everything else? It's a lost art. Every time I put my rate on loads to Brooklyn or any of the 5 borough, I never get my rates. It's funny. Yeah, I mean that's how you do that. Pretend you're in my shoes. Book a load out of Laredo, Texas. Curious of your market view on loads. Might be seeing things I'm not. Book a load out of Laredo. Well, number one, I would have avoided Laredo, but but sometimes we can't control these things. So let's do that. Let's do Laredo. Let's say you got this big banger rate to go to Laredo, and you're like, hell to the yeah, right? And let's do truck type. Old Nevada. Drives a van. Van down by the river. 150-mile radius. Search. All righty. What kind of rate did you get into Laredo? Do you want to tell me that? Because that determines what we're going to pick next. Now, there's 36. Holy moly. There's only 36 loads coming out of Laredo on the 123 low board. That would have been clue number one not to go in there. But again, maybe got a killer rate. Maybe got like $3 a mile to go in. 250. Okay, that's not bad. All right, so if you go by highest rate first, filter first, it's going to give you the longest run. Actually, McAllen to Nashville, it's 1,168 miles, 205 a mile. But then you got to look at the Nashville market. So I'm going to ignore all this. Van Reefer, 42,000 pounds. Then you're dealing with Nashville. But there's 104 loads coming out of Nashville. So you look at that and go by highest rate to see where they're at rate wise. And looks like the highest ones are going to stupid areas. But there's 104 backhaul loads. So that may not be bad, but it may not be the rate that you want, right? So, but that 205 a mile, that's not actually, I mean, you can get above that. You might be able to get close to 250, 225 coming out. This Green, Ohio. Let's look at that one. 1,600 miles. That puts you in a better state. A lot lower rate, obviously. But let's look at short haul. So here's what I would do. To be honest with you, I would do St. Louis. So let's adjust this to St. Louis, Missouri. What happens is, really, let's do Edwardsville. Laredo, Edwardsville, 100. So we'll do a 200-mile radius of Edwardsville. No loads available. So what that tells me, this is how I look at this load board, Nevada. What that tells me is a lot of the good loads have already been taken because that's going to be your best bet. Because number one, it's short, and number two, if you're going to take a hit out of Laredo, that's your shortest spot, right? So let's do Joplin. Your best rates coming out of Laredo are going to be to places that you don't want to go. Nothing. So now, if you're using the DAP board, it's probably going to have some loads, but the ratios are still going to be kind of the same. There's going to be less loads, right? So when you look at Laredo to anywhere, and there's only 36 loads, man, there's not much choices. So what's okay? So now we're eating a crap sandwich. Let's see what we can get it tasting better. So you're going to take a bigger hit out of to go to green because it's a longer run. So what's the shortest run here? Here we go, Wilmer, Texas. So probably don't have Texas Interstate, and then you're kind of in this loop. Now Shreveport is not great for van, definitely not Phoenix. So out of all these, I would probably pick Nashville. Because it had the highest loads coming out. And I would see if you got a now with you guys being a team, if you can find something that's first come first serve, at least on the delivery side, you might be able to deliver it early. And now you've made 24 in 2 days or 1 day. How many miles is that? Let me see. Yeah, so in 1 day, which is good money, right? So now you got to switch from rate per mile to rate per day. Now, if you wanted to take that load to Ohio, then you have to average all the miles from your origin to Laredo, Laredo to Ohio to see what that looked like at the end of that cycle. There's only 90 on that. Yeah, so Laredo's not a good spot. And that's the kind of homework that one might want to do before they pick that load. Now I get it. Loads are moving fast and you're trying to pick the one that's going to work. But there was a reason why they paid you $250 because I noticed that a lot of them don't even want to pay $225 to go into Texas, especially when the rates were banging out of Texas. So these are things that you have to consider. So I would have looked at that Laredo market first, and trust me, I've tried to utilize Laredo, but you have so many carriers in Laredo that have gobbled up spot market freight, and you have so many mega carriers that have drop yards there, safe drop yards, and they can offer more to those shippers down there who obviously want the cheapest truck. And then the entire that these drivers can have a safe place to park. So I mean, there's so many things going on with Laredo. I used to go to Laredo for Landstar. They had a yard down there. It was great. I never went to the Schneider yard down there, but Jeff and I knew a guy that literally bounced from Michigan to Laredo and back. But again, it was all drop and hook trailers. So Laredo is definitely a big challenge. So I would avoid Laredo in the future, unless it's paying banging bucks. And 250 isn't it? Let's see. I can get $3 to Dallas, only 450 miles. All right, so now so let's do Dallas, right? Let's take a look at Dallas. Okay, that's a nice short hop. That's a better market. So you hit search. There's only 3 going to Dallas. So let's click on one of them. What's the reload out of Dallas? 121 loads. So obviously, and then there's 14 from Dallas to Texas to Texas. So that's going to be your better bet. Texas to anywhere is 293. I mean, Texas is a big state though, so but obviously the low ratios are better coming out. So that would have been that's a good decision. Take the banging rate to Laredo. Have a backhaul at least lined up to Dallas, and then from Dallas you can pretty much go. And I would do Dallas to Missouri or Kansas, eastern Kansas, and then go back to the Midwest through there, or go to Dallas to Joplin, and then Joplin up to Wisconsin. That's what I would do. And then from Wisconsin, go south either to Oklahoma or Arkansas, and then from northeast or Oklahoma. Don't go Oklahoma City, because then you're dealing with the Dallas market again. And then either take that to Ohio or take that to Michigan. Those are the triangles that I like because they're consistent. Yep, Chicago. Shannon, you're like, yeah, you're probably ready for home, right? I was coming out of California, so slim pickings. I just need to shoot east. And look, and that's why I avoided California. I had a good paying load lined up to go to California, but I'm like, nah. Then my broker was like, yeah, So, and he offered me kind of stupid money to do it, but then I didn't want to struggle. And so now that was my method when I went to Arizona, is find the shortest thing to like Dallas or Houston, and then go from there, or something up to Denver. And then from Denver, you got the Kansas City market you can tap into, so you lose a day, but you should have gotten a good rate up to Colorado. So we had a driver here that literally bounced all over Texas, because we have Texas Interstate here, and he did pretty well. He utilized, he knew how to utilize those markets. So if you have Texas Interstate, you can really utilize that. So, and obviously, if you're doing a load from Laredo to Dallas, you have Texas Interstate. Loretta's a bad spot even for flatbed unless you're just running local. Absolutely, because they got it all in the bag. Cool trucking. Good morning. Oftentimes, the lane pays well one way and bad the other. The more the rule, the exception. I'd say yes, absolutely. Average for the week is all I care about. There you go. I mean, look, you can't like sit there and make or break a load on one load, right? Now one load can make or break your week if it's a long run. But I do a rate per mile check, I do a rate per day check, and then I do a rate per week check, and then I do a rate per month check. That's how it needs to be done. Break it down by however many days a month you want to run. Break it down by however many miles that you want to run, and then do the fuel cost based off of that. And that's kind of where where you're going to see where you need to be at. I had $3 to Kansas, but it canceled last minute, so I was scrambling. See, there you go. Always ask these brokers if they have load to get you back or anything dedicated that pays well. Yes. Again, it goes back to you're running a business, right? So, anyways, I'm going to end this feed. I got to get to work. Speaking of which, guys, thanks for make sure you hit the thumbs up and 48065 if you're interested in the 123 low board. You get 30 days free, and then you get it for $35 a month after that with all the tools that I've displayed, which are only a partial of what they actually have. I've only displayed a few. But we'll do one more thing. Hold on a second, guys. We'll do one more thing. Let's look at load ratios on the DAT board. So we get that number as well. All right, this is Vance. Alabama's picked up, so that's cool. Arkansas is definitely decent. California is a no-go. California is the new Florida. And that was the first thing I checked. I noticed that my broker was kind of inking me to not do the California run. Look at Florida, though, guys. 1902 going in and 526 coming out. Illinois. Look at Illinois, though. 737 in and 2130 out. So when they're that lopsided either direction, you're going to find a rate challenge. So if you're in the Southeast wanting to go to Illinois, they're going to pay you less because they know you're going to get it on the other side, or they think you're going to get it on the other side. But what if you just need a backhaul to get back to your contract stuff? So doesn't help. Michigan looks good. Minnesota looks good. Missouri looks good. Mississippi is about even. North Dakota, more loads coming out than in, so that's interesting, but still not a big number. It's only 98 out of the whole state. New York, Ohio, Oklahoma is kind of a crap show right now. Oregon's not too bad. Tennessee is even Steven, and Wisconsin looks really good. So those are your load ratio, guys, on two tools that you can use. A few more comments, and then we'll get out of here. Sedgwood, our customers in St. Louis is building a manufacturing in Houston metal clips. I'll be in Texas, close to home more often. Good pay light loads. I'm doing it now. 4,000 for 2-day run. You can't beat that. That's great. If you got a team in SoCal, let me know. I got contacts on Hive out. That might just do that, Nevada, but I'm trying to avoid that. But that'd be great. Very nice. I thought that said something else. We do a lot of HVL in and out of California. High value load. Yeah, that's the way to go. Richest man in Babylon always saved 10% of what he made and made wise investments. There you go. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I thank you. If you wouldn't mind, hit the thumbs up. It helps get the message out there. Not that I have a message other than for today and hope for tomorrow. Peace.